Continuing with his Patreon review request of the Indiana Jones movies, Justin has asked me to look at the third film, The Last Crusade. There are actually many people who rank this their favorite in the series, and while I still put Raiders of the Lost Ark at number 1, this is definitely a strong number 2 for me. After feeling it went overboard with the darker aspects in Temple of Doom, Steven Spielberg chose to make the next adventure close in tone with the first movie. And yes, while this does bring back Nazis looking for an ancient religious artifact, I do think he was able to bring something new to the table with this entry. One of the major reasons The Last Crusade works is the decision to bring in Indy's father, played by Sean Connery. That allows for a different dynamic, and Harrison Ford and Connery play off each other extremely well. I absolutely bought these two as father and son, and there's a solid arc running through the film, both learning to understand the other despite their strained relationship. The absentee father is a common theme in Spielberg's movies, but if you read about his life, it makes sense why he kept returning to that. However, anytime Spielberg incorporates fathers and their occasionally difficult relationships with their offspring into one of his movies, I never think, oh, here we go again. This is actually one of my favorite Connery performances. He's able to convey Henry Jones Sr.'s fascination and excitement about the Holy Grail, and has some great reactions being brought on this adventure with his son. So much of the film's humor also comes from their interactions along with the heart. Indy himself continues to be one of the great screen heroes, but the film also shows what makes him human, as he does make mistakes throughout the film that he attempts to correct. It's also cathartic watching him go up against the Nazis again. I despise Nazis and everything they stand for, so any movie that shows the hero defeating or mocking them gets bonus points in my book. For The Last Crusade, the decision was made to start the film with a younger Indiana Jones, which was a fantastic idea. It's particularly fitting for this entry, since the way he felt he was raised by his father in his childhood and teenage years becomes a bone of contention between them, and the opening sequence provides the first hints of that, along with Henry Sr.'s obsession with the Grail. River Phoenix was cast in the role based on Harrison Ford's recommendation, and he did a terrific job. He absolutely comes across as a younger version of the character, and this opening already started the movie with a bang. It's also an example of how Spielberg tried to make each Indiana Jones opening different from the last, as he went from a jungle adventure in Raiders to the lavish musical number of Temple of Doom to now this chase with young Indy in Last Crusade. Said chase sequence is one of many fantastic action scenes in the movie, with Spielberg finding a lot of fun use with the circus train. The rest of the action is similarly exciting, especially the tank fight in the third act. That scene actually goes on for quite a while, but it never gets tiring as Spielberg gives the multiple characters things to do to keep our attention. The stunts must have been quite something to pull off, and everyone involved in the production certainly pulled out all the stops. The escape from the castle and the motorcycle chase also deliver, along with an action scene in Venice. The Last Crusade nicely showcases Indy using his smarts as a college professor who has studied these ancient civilizations and their traditions and languages. We really see his intellect when figuring out the puzzles leading up to the Grail, and the special effects team pulled off some terrific shots here, especially the leap of faith. There's also the world-hopping element, which is always a joy in these sorts of adventure movies, with Spielberg and his production team making excellent use of the various locations visited by Indy. A key component of what makes the Indiana Jones movies so exciting is, of course, John Williams. He once again incorporates Indy's famous theme, but also does a wonderful job of creating new pieces. The father-son theme is fantastic, and fits well with the thirst for knowledge they both have. Overall, Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade represents another fantastic entry in the series, and just an amazing Spielberg film in general. He understood what made Raiders appealing, and sought to bring back that spirit, but without repeating himself, and he managed to do that and get away from the sour tone of Temple of Doom. Most importantly, it functions as a great pairing up of a father and his son. Of all the Indy movies, this probably hits the biggest emotions, and the ending is especially heartwarming. The casting of Sean Connery was a stroke of genius, and what I think truly elevates the film into a worthwhile sequel. Now let me know in the comments what you think of Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, and thank you for the request, Justin.